Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm here. We're gonna, going first live Mvargo97 live. I got my good buddy, it's Chad here with me. So
that intro was fantastic, my dude.
All my wife. She just set that up for me this morning.
That's cool. So, I like it.
Looks like we got a couple people here already.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Morris.
What's up, Mo?
Mython the Python. I gotta say, my wife watched the video you uploaded last night, crying on the couch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she said as much. It's it'll do that. I don't know what happened with that, man. Like, yeah, that's kind of more of a backstage conversation, but the views were really high, and then I went and looked this morning.
I noticed that.
I didn't really look at it, but I was responding to comments. I'm like, why is it at half the views? It's kind of weird. Whatever. But I don't do stuff for views, so I don't really sweat that.
Roll Keeper.
What's up, dude?
Bear 11 Charlie.
Mm-hmm. Good people.
Yeah, just Jeff in the house too. So
thanks, what's up, Jeffrey?
Thanks. I just thank everybody for being here. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of go over. I've been pretty busy lately, so I got a ton of crap to show off, and yeah, we're gonna hang out, talk about some updates to the channel. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but these cases seem to be pretty empty compared to what they used to be. So
it's like you're cleaning house, man. House cleaning.
Might as well just get into that first. So, from what a lot of people know, I was really big on classified, Legends, and pretty much a lot of Hasbro 12-inch stuff, 6-inch stuff, 1/12 scale.
Right.
Used to be all those cases. I had some cases over there. There's a case right here that were all full, and basically we cleaned house, and there's nothing left there. So, Robert's Infinite Realms is here.
What's up, Robert?
Yeah, so I guess I kind of was going to figure, go into kind of why I just kind of got rid of everything. And, it's going to explain a lot of what I've picked up recently.
Do it. Let's go.
So I guess it's worthwhile to start out with. When I originally got back into an adult collecting, it was all 1/18 scale for me. So I had a huge G.I. Joe, Real American Hero 82 to 94 collection. I had 75% of the whole line. I've got some photos that I was actually going to show of what I used to basically have. So we'll share that screen. So yeah, this is just kind of just going through some of the photos of the stuff that I used to have. This stuff all used to basically be in my grandmother's basement. So before we had bought our own house, I basically had all this stuff was stored over there. And we kind of
damn, son, you had the Toxo Lab?
I did.
Oh.
Yeah. Since I didn't have this stuff with me at the time, me and my wife got married in October of 22. So what we really kind of wanted to do was kind of take the next step and, buy a house. And so, a lot of this stuff was, since it wasn't even with me at the time, I made the decision. I was like, you know what? I think, this stuff could be better off used to get us a house. So I kind of had made the decision at the time to, sell all this stuff off just to put, basically so we could get the house. So
Sky Raven too, man.
Yeah, like I had a lot of stuff.
I'm sorry, I'm f-bombing like right. And then you have the freaking the DTC mail away triple T.
Yep, I had, like I said, I was probably 75%, 80% of the whole line.
That's rad. Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you. So you sold your collection.
Yeah, I mean, so it basically we made the decision that we, to go so we could get the house. So, what I still had with me that I was carrying along with me periodically was a lot of my 1/12 scale stuff, because it could go in boxes and I could move that stuff a little bit easier.
Because it's just mostly dollies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was kind of, so I had made the decision at that point, right at the end of 22, because we were trying to buy a house early 23, that I was like, all right, well, I'll just keep the 1/12 scale stuff for now. I have everything that I want that's already out. So it'll just be whatever new stuff is coming out.
Yeah.
But so that lasted about a year. But there was always that, in the back of my head, it was, I was a 1/18th scale guy. That was what my scale originally was. And I was like, I know if I get anything, it's going to pull me right back into, going full out on this stuff. So,
Yeah.
But so fast forward, we are in 2024 now. And, long story short is I still had some Leonard stuff left over from what I had gotten rid of. Technically, I should have had all of it, but the guy that bought the stuff from me took some of it and I didn't realize. But I was like, whatever, it's still core. It's not worth that much. So, but in my mind, I said it wasn't so. But so I was kind of just was messing around in the basement and I found that the box of stuff that I still had. I was just like pulling these figures out. I was like, you know what? I've spent more time with these 5 figures that I have left than any Hasbro stuff that I've put in my shelf in the past year.
Yeah. Right.
So I said, you know what? It's, we're gonna clean house on the Hasbro 1/12 scale stuff, and we're gonna go back into 1/18 scale.
Hell yeah, dude! You see Mikey's comment?
Yeah. Yeah, it just came today.
Perfect timing.
Yep, when you and your dad were on stream, you said you had a TeePublic. I was like, ooh, I gotta go buy a shirt.
Yeah. Very cool.
So it's not like I'm not done with 1/12 scale stuff. Obviously, I still have all of my Valaverse stuff, but for me, that's that's new and it's a new idea and it's exciting. It's not the same thing that I used to have, when I had all that 1/18 scale stuff. So
yeah. But when you sold your collection, did you sell the entire collection?
Yep, I sold it all together.
Yeah. When the day comes for me, that's how it's going to be.
Well,
it'd be like, walk around, do your thing, take your photos, do your little inventory or whatever.
Yep. And well, that's what those photos are left over from when I had sent them to the guy. So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to keep these for myself just so I've got everything still. But long story short, I wish I didn't sell it to the person that I sold it to because it ended up being a certain asshole that runs a cash-only toy store.
No, get out.
I mean, this was before any of this stuff had been made,
I mean, it's a small world, right? And you're in the area, but damn, son.
Yeah, well, they were the biggest place in the area that we're gonna. So it just ended.
Did you ever tell Bobby that?
I don't think so. No.
You're gonna.
But yeah, so
you'd tell him in June. He'd be like, "It's a funny story."
Well, fortunately, it wasn't that guy. He had a guy that he knew up in this area pick everything up and take it down there.
Yeah, I see your missus said he's gone.
Yep. So
did you tell her that I said her intro's freaking awesome? Well, I guess she just heard me say it. Whatever.
Yeah. Like she says, hey, in the end, he paid our down payment of the house. So I guess, and you know what? Some of that money bought some Valaverse stuff too. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, like this stuff is all discretionary. It should be enjoyable, and it should be one of those things like, yeah, I got the funds to be able to do this, and you were adult about it. Like,
yep.
I'm married, I'm going to make adult decisions, and I'm going to use these toys to get there. Yep. You can always get the toys again later.
Yep.
Yeah, totally, man. I'd have done the same thing.
Yep. Mython the Python says you better get at least $100 for that plaque when you sell off your collection, Chad.
That plaque isn't going anywhere. I will straight cut a bitch. Yeah, not going anywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess the way I was thinking about it is at the time, it's when you never owned a house and you need to buy a house, it's very hard to buy a house nowadays. So when you've got something that you can, that's basically was all my assets at the time.
Yeah,
and like what he said, he said you give it 10 years, this stuff will probably be cheaper than what some of that stuff was probably going to go down in value anyways once some people start selling off their stuff when they try to retire. And
Yeah.
so I was never that worried about it.
Nah. And it waxes and wanes, and
Yep.
You weren't in it for like a retirement plan like
Yeah.
some of these people. They buy them and they put them in totes and they're like, I'm gonna retire to the Caribbean on that one day. It's like, no, you're not, dude. But I hear you, man. The Mam and I, we're because I'm out 12 days, like 100% gone. Like, give me my DD214, goodbye. And I mean, even though we could stay because she's an officer in the infantry, we're looking to move up into northern New Mexico into the mountains, and just kind of, yeah, she wants to buy a house, and every day she sends me 5 more houses. So yeah, I feel you. Doesn't mean I'm going to sell my collection, but I understand the sentiment, where you're going.
And like, at the time it was, my grandparents were fortunate enough to let me keep that stuff at their house, but it wasn't with me. I wasn't seeing it every day. So it's hard sometimes. You grow less attached to it when you don't see it every day, but
true.
But yeah, so that's basically going to explain basically everything that I'm going to show off here today is mostly 1/18 scale stuff. So
okay, so what was the major decision to, I'm trying to not swear, what was the major decision to jettison the 112th Joe?
I just was bored with it. I was like, you know what? I had all of these figures in 1/18 scale. I had all the ones that I already wanted. I don't have to wait for the characters that I like to come out, and who knows, when those are actually going to come out,
right?
And then not to mention some of this, where the 1/18 scale stuff, it's all got the vehicles. I know they can all fit in the vehicles. They're all, you don't have Roadblock who's 7 feet tall, and then it just was like I had all these figures in 1/18 scale, and I enjoyed them a lot more at that point. So
that's kind of where my mind goes whenever people are like, oh wow, did you see they announced this? And I'm like, it's almost like you don't think about breathing. So I don't think about like low light in terms of this is new and exciting. It's like
so
I don't know.
Dragon Reborn's here.
What's up? Good to see you.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no real easy way to articulate, those thoughts and feelings, and it's values, beliefs, behaviors, and norms are everything that drive us, as individuals and as cultures and stuff. And I just don't,
Yeah, like Robert says, it's boring. He has those characters and it's upscaling. And I think the other thing was that killed me was in 2023 was how many figures they put out. I think it was like 60 something figures classified put out in 1 year.
And how many of those were exclusives, repaints?
Well, I think that probably 45 out of the 63 were.
Yeah.
So, but it just was like, you know what? I'm just, people like these. That's whatever. I just think I want to get back to the 1/18 scale. That's what I had the most fun with. So,
did you see Marvelous Mike's comment?
Yep. Yeah, that's like what I said. I had more fun with my 5 Leonard the Core, and when Strike Force Alpha came in, I had more fun with those figures than I had with anything since I bought a single classified figure.
Because and again, this isn't like hey, let's dogpile on classified, but it's not a line designed for play. It's a line that specifically targets, nostalgia-driven adult collectors who get that nostalgia-related dopamine rush, which is a thing, because they see that, oh man, there's a Cobra flight pod, but instead of this big, it's that big. It's like alleviator.
Yep. Thanks for coming.
Oh, that bone collector right there. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeff still collects all scales, but loves 1/18 scale. Like I said, Valverse still have all of that. Okay, so I lied. I have 1 classified figure left, but it's at my office at work.
Totally cool. I have several in my game room. You know,
So,
I mean, I never think that it should be a scale snob thing. You know, it's
yeah,
not a this versus that or a this or that. There is no like black, white. You know, I mean, look, I got mask figures all over the place. I got freaking GoBots. You know, I got regular GoBots and super GoBots, and I got fucking Lego Joes, and who cares, man? Just if you dig it, get it.
yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, like Robert says, the novelty had worn off on me. Like, it was exciting at first. I was like, oh, 6-inch Joes. They could go with my Valiverse stuff. But I was like, you know what? The Valiverse stuff is so much better, in my opinion, that it just wasn't. I was like, I might as well just stick, in my mind, what Joe did best.
I think it's
So,
interesting how the bros, right? The Joe bros, the Hasbros used to always poo poo about Valiverse was too expensive. Well, Valiverse came down and Joe's just been up, 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 you know, and
they're about to be the same price here, I think, by the
but
end of the
where's
year.
that complaint now?
Yep.
I mean, either they're that proverbial frog in a boiling pot of water, you know, that was put in before the pot was boiling, or they don't care if Hasbro's toys are that expensive, because
Yep.
I've been compiling quietly just tons of screenshots from different toy groups and all these brainiacs who want to say all this stupid stuff, and I just screenshot. And you see the people that say well, it's not a knockoff line, and you know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So
Just Jeff says that but he's ready to purge his classified, just going to save his Vipers and Cobra Island guys, but everything else, he's done with it. So,
yeah, actually, in the video that I put up yesterday morning for that unboxing of Mython's amazing gift, you can see that there's a couple of sealed boxed classifieds on that shelf, but that's not even to include what's on the shelf on the opposite side of the room. But one of those is a sealed beachhead,
yep.
which I didn't put it up there because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show this off. I just put it up there because it was sitting in the back here, and I was like, well, just put it on the shelf.
Yep. Mython says that's how they got me. I had to sell my entire collection from childhood to 2011. Getting back into collecting when classifieds came out, they got me. Was a total sucker. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, for me, I had just had them in boxes. I was like, you know what? These are easy enough for me to keep and move because they don't have the vehicles. They don't.
Yeah. You just stack them like Tetris, right?
Yep. They were in a closet. They were in a closet for probably a year.
No way.
So,
yeah.
Robert did the Action Force is too expensive argument just 2 days ago.
So you had an argument with someone who said Action Force is too expensive?
Well, I think he's probably had that argument with somebody.
Gotcha.
But
Scott frickin' Hughes. Look at that. Scott Hughes.
Yep. Scott says, when I was a kid, I didn't think about playing with my Roblox. Instead, I thought, I am going to play with the killer whale. The figures were accessories to the vehicles and playsets.
Yeah. Figures were lost leaders.
Yep.
Yep. That's how they all looked at them.
Yep. Mython says, this past Christmas, my whole perception of Kurt Hasbro changed drastically. Yeah, and you know what? I think that probably played a part, subconsciously. And like, you know what? I don't care to get rid of, I don't care if I get rid of these because honestly, I don't care about Hasbro right now as a company.
Yeah, my source, because I almost said my blah 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 blah. The person who's come to me with some stuff is on the block for the next round. Yeah, which sucks because I just had. I'm gonna leave it at that, but yeah.
Yep. Jeff says he's weird. He's never sold any of his toys ever. I wish I still had all of my toys ever.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Mo.
Marvelous Mike says, another thing is the QC issues. I don't recall having any during the golden age of Pursuit of Cobra 30th anniversary. So many classified with a left arm gap or wobbly waist. Yeah, like that Snake Eyes that just, he's a rattle.
'50th anniversary lowlight, one of my favorites.
I mean, some of the vintage stuff I'd say has better QC than some of the modern stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're, thumbs and crotches aside,
but that's you're talking 1980, 81 when they were freaking designing those bodies, and that's just you have different duros of plastic, and you have a stress point that's like that small, of course, right? Because it's the weakest point's going to fail. But I have told the story numerous times of how I got into classified, because the ma'am, being a huge supporter of my hobbies, who's also part of this with me, we went into a store and she just saw spines of boxes that said G.I. Joe, and she grabbed them all and she put them on the shelf, and it was like wave 1 and 2.
Yep.
I was like, well, I guess I'm in classified, and I brought them home, and I was like, okay, they're from my wife. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
First one I opened was Snake Eyes. I get him out of the tray and he just goes,
yeah, he shakes like a rattle.
Yeah, because that stupid like ab crunch thing. And I'm like, and I'm showing it to her and I'm like, what is this? And she's like, oh, that's crappy. And then I pulled out Destro and he didn't do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's going to be like that. Yeah. So, but immediately I was not floored.
Yep. Jeff says the only reason he got into classified was the Analog Toys video when he reviewed that the 00 Snake Eyes, which was such a misleading figure that started out.
Yeah.
So he says just give him some Resolute figures and ditch the others.
Those Resolute figures are good.
Yeah. And then Robert says, yeah, someone argued with him about it. I said, can't wait to see you say the same when someone buys Mutt and posts it.
With that bent ass M16.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And just says, he wants all his Ghostbusters or Mask. Everything else, if it comes down to it, I don't care enough about it. Maybe by Gotham, Gaslight Batman, and Joker will hang around with the rest.
That Gotham by Gaslight Batman is freaking rad.
And Mython, responding to Jeff, says that he's blessed, broke his heart to have to sell everything back in 2011.
Yeah.
And then, Mo follows up, just says, just as childhood toys were all destroyed, never sold. So they're all retired to the great toy box in the sky.
Yeah, I was a little bit of Sid from Toy Story there for a minute with bottle rockets and sucks, but whatever.
Yeah, so I got it. Like I said, I've been basically super busy at work, for the past 2.5 months, but just because I've been busy doesn't mean I haven't been buying stuff, but most of it's just been sitting on my shelf. So I just kind of wanted to, go over some of that stuff. So we'll bring up the second camera here. And pull this over here. So the first thing that I got, we'll start out with the 1/12 scale stuff just to get that out of the way.
I got that bad boy too.
Yep, I got the Arctic Steel Brigade. Mm-hmm. And then the other Valverses, I had somebody at Zolocon pick me up the Zolocon ghillie suit. So
cool.
So I'm still getting everything for Action Force that I can. So Mython says he still actually likes the 1/12 scale stuff, but going back to vintage 1/18 regarding G.I. Joe.
Yeah, and then Jeff says, but collecting Journey is worth it due to the friendships, even if Chad collects the wrong scale.
So I think we'll stay kind of on the smaller company stuff first. So what we've got here is, so I started picking up more of the Strike Force Alpha stuff. So what I had initially gotten, did my video on, was what I had gotten through the backer kit. So I went and picked up some more stuff, and I guess they had these 2 exclusives, which were from Winterfest, and they were limited to 100 copies a piece. And I think they were all, I think Matt LaCroix did custom paint jobs on all of these.
Yep.
So I picked up these guys. And then just kind of picked up more. Basically picked up the rest of the Strike Force Alpha stuff that I didn't have. So.
Freaking Rage Trooper, man. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, because this Kickstarter, when this one came out, this was a little earlier than I still was in grad school when this one first launched. So
yeah,
I wasn't able to pick everything up at the time, but now I am able to. So basically just picked up everything, and then there's a couple that I'm still waiting to get, but I think I'm just going to pick those up at DFW. A couple of the ninjas, I think, are the last ones that I still have to get.
Yeah.
So,
dude, awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, got to support those.
That Hellguard.
Yeah.
That is one of the best figure designs that I've seen in a long time.
Yep. Got to support all those, got to support all these new lines. So,
yeah, the Hellguard's fantastic, man. Like you can put him in with a modern 1/18 scale and completely lose him, and just not even see him in there. So Dragon Reborn asked a question.
Do you think there's a mover trend back towards the 1/18 scale? I think it's hard to say. I think Michael uses that analogy of the nostalgia glider. I think that we're starting to see that start to peter off a little bit. So I think you've got people going back to kind of the tried and true stuff. So, in my opinion, at least.
But you want mine?
Yeah.
But it's your show. So
well, yeah.
I don't think there ever was a movement away from 1/18 scale. I think just because one company said we're going to follow this kind of a trend and use the same molds, it's the same mold dimension, they're just charging more. And I understand like other people's arguments, especially Bobby, who says, if you're going to use the same mold, and you have to charge $20 or $25 for a 4-inch figure, why not just make a 6-inch figure and charge $30? I get that. I don't ever really argue that, but there's significant differences in the scales. One is like they're shelfies. You open it, you pose it once, you put it on the shelf, maybe you dust it every month or something. But it was only really Hasbro that moved away from 1/18 scale because nobody else did. Like Leonard never moved away from 1/18 scale.
Yep.
Chapman is freaking killing it with all their stuff. And then you got all those indie companies that, they just filled the void that Hasbro left behind. Yep. And if Hasbro wants to tell people who have been into 1/18 scale since, in reality, you're talking at least the 70s, Adventure People, Chips, Star Wars, G.I. Joe. If they want to say like, hey, we don't want your business anymore, go elsewhere. That's where, the rising tide of 1/18 love is raising all of the ships of all the other companies. And I think that Hasbro, they're learning that lesson. And if you don't mind, could you please pull up Marvelous Mike's comment? Yeah.
Yep.
So Chad, what's the word on that plan to do renew the figure subscription service for modern figures? I heard it's on hold.
That's surprising.
That's also why they didn't show 1/18 stuff 2 days ago.
Yeah, with the Transformers stream.
Mm-hmm. They were supposed to show that Cup Triple T.
Yeah, I was interested to see what that was going to come out.
They're canning a lot of stuff. What I was told is that it's not dead, but that I can get an actual quote in a second. To paraphrase, it's relaunching a figure subscription service is on hold pending review. The vehicles, I try to be very conscientious about words that I use, right?
Mhm.
The whole we're going to reissue vehicles with the whatever the term was, the the usual suspects, and then the Whale and the Night Raven, that's
Yep.
probably going to get canned. Yeah, and then the other thing is they are aggressively looking for leaks in all of their teams. Yeah. So unknown, but
Yep. Couple
they
people.
definitely got some changes coming.
Yep. Couple people just commenting on Strike Force Alpha. Yeah,
So good.
I think they're really fun figures. I really love the pop and swap aspect of them.
Yeah, the pop and swap is great. Speaking of 118 scale and Leonard and all this stuff, I actually, after I put up the post about our stream today, World Made a Cardboard put a comment on my Instagram, and I actually took a screenshot of it. And he says, "The core is the toy line that is proof Hasbro dropped the ball on G.I. Joe. Leonard toys have been around since the 80s, proof that military toys sell and sell well." I thought that was a very good comment.
Yep, the core debuted in '86 and basically hasn't ever really stayed away since then.
Yep. But they put out good stuff at reasonable prices.
Yep. Mython mentions the Skeletron O-ring Wolf Trooper. Yeah, I've got that. He actually got open, so he's not in the video because he's in the display case already.
Yeah, the Retro Wolf.
Yep. Yeah, that figure's fantastic.
Agreed. Yep. The Super 7. Oh, sorry.
It was just, Robert said they picked up a few of the Strike Force Alpha figures, loves them.
Yeah.
Jeff says that, he started collecting 4-inch Spin Masters Batman. My nephews really were into those for a while. So.
Yeah. Will from Wilhelm Toy and Hobby, he swears by those Spin Master figures. $8.
Yep. And then Mython asks,
you don't have to charge $25 for it.
Yep. Then Mython asks if Super 7 is still going to make the G.I. Joe O-ring figures.
Yeah, they're taking their Paint Masters to Joe Fest.
Yep, I'm assuming. I mean, they've already signed the license, the license to license it out, and they've probably done tooling for probably at least 2 waves, I would guess, at this point.
Well, didn't you see that BS a couple of weeks ago where someone at Big Bad Toy Store accidentally put up the page for their figures?
There were pictures, right?
There were no pictures.
Yep.
It was just listings and prices. And people were able to pre-order, and it caused a big old but yeah.
So well, is there anything you wanted to show off? I'm kind of in between the 4 major brands that I have to go over today. So
I have this item. It's a Joe item. It's from Kenner. And this thing is wacky. You ever heard of Power Spark?
You know what? I have seen that before. I thought it was a bootleg.
Nope. Impossible Pie, what's up, dude? Yeah, so this is pardon me. I'm just choking to death. This is a Power Spark G.I. Joe military helicopter accessory set from Kenner. All right, because remember, Kenner had the G.I. Joe license in '95 because of G.I. Joe Extreme and all that crap. So basically what you do is you get this weird Power Spark drill, this thing right here, and all of this is an accessory set, and you take your Power Spark drill and you freaking build it. Isn't that wacky? Yeah, but there it is. Power Spark military helicopter.
Was that the only thing that they put out? Power Spark Joe?
But I got this. It's sealed. I was like, it's pretty cool. I don't really ever plan on opening it. Because I don't know how I would put it together, and I don't know if I want to mess with that. So it just sits on the shelf. I thought it would be cool to show. So yeah, pretty. Then I got some other stuff.
Jeff was asking what the price of those Super 7 O-rings were.
20.
Yeah.
Nope. $20.
Just Jeff says Little Johnny's first drill.
Yeah, it's not really supposed to be a drill. I don't know. It's supposed to be like some kind of fake ass soldering gun. Like if you look at it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Mython says that's pretty cool.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah. So the next kind of stuff is, so the core has been my main focus, but I've also been kind of picking up some of the 90s Joe stuff because that was always my favorite. That was the vintage stuff that I had as a kid, was a lot of the 90s stuff. So I picked up a couple loose figures. I got, the Battle Core Leatherneck.
Yep.
The Battle Core Beachhead here.
Beachhead version 3, yeah.
Yep.
That's what that Parth Varma classified figure looks like. It's like a straight up Beachhead version 3 ripoff.
Yep. And then Fisherman Bazooka here.
You got Gone Fishing, huh?
Yep.
Gone Fishing Bazooka.
And so those 3 figures were bought specifically. I don't know if you registered what these 3 figures appeared on a box for a certain vehicle that we might have picked up as well. So I got the Battle Core General Flag.
Yep.
And then
which is actually
one I know,
General Flag the Third. Thank you.
Yeah. And then I know this figure is not a very popular one, but for whatever reason, I had it as a kid. It holds a special place in my heart. Mr. Ice Cream Soldier himself.
Hey, the sculpt. So if you disregard the colorways and you disregard the name, the sculpt of that figure is phenomenal. Like
that's why I said it was so cool that Cobra had to reuse his armor in the early 2000s for the Shock Vipers.
Yeah.
So, and then I picked up a couple carded figures as well. These will get opened. The 94 Flint.
Yep.
And
good sculpt.
Colonel Courage himself.
Colonel Courage with his tie tucked into his shirt.
Yep.
Very cool.
Got those. Those will get opened. I like to kind of put the card backs behind. So this shelf here is some Battle Core stuff. I got some cards there. You can't really.
What's that vehicle in the middle?
That is the Badger. The Badger, and then I've got the Attack Cruiser. So, and then to go along with those 3 figures that I picked up, I got the Mud Buster here.
Yep.
So I've always liked kind of, putting the figures that are on the box art of the vehicles in them. Just
I mean, it's
weird.
cool. It's just a fun little thing that you can do.
Robert's Infinite Realm says Giraffe Pants Leatherneck for the win and Gone Fishing Bazooka.
Yeah, they're getting in the Mud Bus, so they're going down to the lake, chirp some brodies and drink some brewskis. Yeah.
Bass Pro Shops Bazooka's the best bazooka. With his, his grenades around his wrist just to
That's
drop
how he
them
fishes. He's like, just get out there.
Mython says he's not going to lie. He actually likes the 5 POA Chapmay troops that come with their vehicles. But I get laughed at in some circles for saying that. But man, Chapmay has wicked cool vehicles. Yeah, they're putting out some really cool stuff. And you can, it's so, and you could use it to make other stuff too, I think, which is what's so great about it.
See, that's the thing that pisses me off, man. It's like, how hard is it when someone makes a statement like that, completely opinion based? I actually like the 5 POA Chapmay figures. How hard is it to just go, hey, that's cool?
Yeah.
It takes no effort to do that. It takes more effort to be an ass and be like, that's stupid.
Yeah. And then, so the last Joe thing that I picked up recently was I picked up a sealed razor blade.
Yeah, buddy.
So that one was fun. The picture of the basement, it didn't have it, but it used to actually be set up. I had it on the rope, and it would just kind of, as I walked past, just kind of push it up and down. So
on this little line.
Yeah. So,
I am not gonna run and grab everything that's talked about. Yeah, because it's not that kind of deal.
Robert's Infinite Realm says he likes the sculpts on the Chapmay stuff.
Yep.
Their
Acid versus Beta, the freaking little, Battle Android Trooper mech guys. They're cool.
Yeah. Impossible Pie brings up the the gift that Mython sent to you.
Yep.
So
I actually took I took the wings off of mine and put them on Mython's and put it back on my flag just because, right? You know, because I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
You know, Jeff brings up that he's got a lot of 5 POA figures and loved them all. Some from cheap ass lines, some he doesn't care.
There's a 5 POA figure right there. Let me see you talk some shit about that guy. Yeah, buddy, right?
If, you know, if Dragon Reborn's still here, he sent me this guy.
Yeah, that's so rad.
He hangs out with
wants
my
to get on 5 POA figures, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Kentucky inbreds here.
Yahoo! What's up, dude? Old man nap. I wish I could nap. I never could because, like, when I time travel, I wake up confused and I don't know what day it is. I'm all messed up for a while.
Yeah. So now we're going to get kind of into the bulk of what I've been picking up, and that is Leonard's the core. I've gone pretty heavy into a lot of the O-ring stuff that they've done. I mean, they've got so much stuff. I mean, because they were doing O-ring from 86 to 2002. So they had, I mean, main lines, they had star, you know, space stuff. So, so I just kind of have a whole smorgasbord of different stuff. It's like I said, this, you know, it's the 1/8 scale.
Are you friends with Walter McLeod on Facebook?
I might be. I have to check.
He's a massive Leonard the Core guy.
The core made that 5. The core put out had so many different you're more likely to find a multi-pack of the core stuff than you are to find a single carded figure.
Yep.
So
100%.
So the first one I picked up was this guy, Star Force Laser Force.
Yeah.
Kind of like the, you know, supersonic troopers that came out in the early 90s.
Supersonic fighters. The sculpt of that figure is so good, man.
Yep. Just in case. That's the figure's name.
Yeah.
Always was one of my favorites. Yeah, so I guess we'll kind of start up with kind of the Star Force stuff that I picked up. So
I'm here for it.
Got this 3-pack here. So
fantastic.
Let's see. Like I said, a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yeah, dude. That's rad.
Yeah. So, you know what I found is it's actually, you know, I feel like Leonard stuff was everywhere. You know, you could find it everywhere for so cheap, but now finding some of this stuff, especially in the package, is super rare. Like some of this stuff is just, I don't know. Robert brings up that he loves the core off his favorite figures. His collection is a Chat May, obviously influenced by Skeletor. Mython asks if I do or plan to make any customs, or if you're just officially going for officially made items. I never really dabbled into customs. I don't have a very steady hand. So the most customs I ever do is just take parts and kind of
get back,
move things around. Yeah.
Not wrong with that.
He also says he loves seeing those core figures. Dragon Reborn picked up 2 Wolf Troopers. Must have been the last 2 because they're now marked as sold out again. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Those figures were great. I think once the actual longbow stuff comes out, I think whatever they had extra order, I think that stuff's going to sell quick.
Yeah, agreed.
James Lucas is here.
What's up, brother?
The core is awesome. I would tend to agree.
Hopefully.
We got.
Yes.
Yep. The Not Crusader.
Yep.
This one was open, but it came with the box. So
that's cool, man.
And then the last Star Force item I picked up was this bad boy. With the space capsule in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
And that's part of the reason why I love the core stuff, is just that you could get something like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the vehicle, with a helicopter, you get 2 motorcycles, 3 figures. I mean, you basically, you know, it's a starter set for almost everything that they sell.
Yeah, man, that's so good.
Then Mikey says, I got the space shuttle.
He actually screamed, "You got the space shuttle!" Yeah.
Impossible Pie asks if I ever got the Action Force Sarge with the soft coat. I do. He's actually he is in this case to the right of me, which is where my few sealed figures are, like my signed ones and stuff. So,
yeah, very cool, man.
Like he says, one of his favorite childhood pieces. Impossible Pie asks if I'm going to open them. You're damn right I'm going to open them all. I just haven't had time.
What I'm talking about. Yeah. Let them all walk around, man. Way to do it.
Robert, he had that set. It got swept into divorce. What? She liked the space stuff.
If the ma'am ever left me, she would take my flag. Yeah, she would.
The thing I liked about this one is the batteries, the sounds still work on it.
Sweet. Very cool. All right, Impossible Pie says, "Oh no, the core went to space." Yeah, but they didn't go to space poorly.
So, and the other thing is that, well, we'll get in before we get into the actual, military core stuff. James Lucas says, "Hey, Python." Is they did a lot of emergency rescue stuff too. So you got like these sets like these with firefighters and police officers. So, and then
the Night Landing Zodiac, and then the same chopper mold from that space set, the gyrocopter.
And then, another a thing that I never even knew they did out is they had put out a line of construction figures, like construction themed, just dudes with welders and drills and stuff. So
I love the guy in the overalls, man.
Yeah. So I got that, and then it came out. There was this set that I picked up.
There's that chopper again.
Yep. It's got this drill in there. So I don't know. They just put out whatever they wanted, and they didn't really care. They said, "Hey, we're gonna make whatever O-ring stuff we want to do."
Yeah, because they can keep their price points low enough.
Yep. So. Impossible Pie asked who made the course. Leonard Toys. Yep. And the construction figures. Yep. And then, speaking of construction, picked up this bad boy too, with the 4x4 truck.
Yeah.
And you've got the not ferret again.
Yeah, their little ATV. It's fun.
Yeah. The thing I like about this one is, so the construction figures, they don't normally mention their names a lot, but the back of the box on this one's got each of the characters' names. So I don't know. I just think it's cool stuff. It's stuff that, like, Joe, you never got anything outside of just Joe. With the cores, you get firefighters, construction workers. So
you
get all this extra stuff to kind of build around with.
Right.
So, like Maitan says, perfect sets for world building.
Exactly. Those were toys to be played with.
Yep, like Fisher Price Adventure people, but O-rings. I mean, they are.
Yep. Yeah, whereas Adventure People was the impetus of the 5POA Star Wars, and the Chips figures were the impetus of.
Yes. So Maitan asks if I can. Let me see if I can. So, yeah, see if we can kind of. Might just be easier.
Saw blade. I saw one.
Yeah. Power Tool, Rush Hour, Pablo, Straight Edge, Spike, Bent Rod, Saw Blade, and then Hot Wire.
Nice. Nice.
There. Kentucky Inbred asked, Chad, do you have the G.I. Joe Extreme Road Bullet made by Kenner?
Does the bear shit in the woods? He's not even looking. Yep, sure do.
Kiwi's G.I. Joe Customs is here.
What's up, Kiwi? Good to see you.
Mython's laughing at Pablo the painter.
Pablo, they picked him up at Home Depot.
Well, the funny fact is there's actually a set that it's Home Depot branded that has the Home Depot logos. It's an orange truck, and they have just Home Depot logos on their shirts. So
that's kind of cool. See, look, now he's giving me crap.
Mikey says Star Wars should make contractors for the second Death Star.
Yep, like Clerks. You know how many people they killed?
James says, "Come on, Chad, start pulling core stuff off your never-ending shelf." That's going to be me now. I'm going to have all this core stuff.
It's around. I mean, you can. There's a core tank right there. I mean, you can kind of see it. But
Sigma 6 5-inch. I think they were.
They had 2 scales.
They were. Yeah, they were. There was small ones. And I think the bigger ones were an 8-inch scale. Maybe because I remember they were too small for my 12-inch and they were too big for my 3 3/4. Yep, Lenard's still around. They're still making toys. They're still putting out stuff for the core as well. So
I'm sorry, baby. Did I wake you up? This is a Sigma 6.
Yep.
His tank.
That's the 2.5-inch scale ones.
Yeah.
Or are they smaller than that? Yeah.
Scaled, yeah, for like mask figures. But the playability features of this thing are off the charts. So the whole back comes off and it becomes like a battle position, and the turret comes out and it has legs almost like the Mean Dog, and it has a ramp that comes down G.
Yep.
Never seen that idea before, right? Just an awesome vehicle.
Yep. Aaron's here.
Aaron, what's up, dude?
I think, Kiwi says that he likes the core stuff. I mean, I think, it gets I think it got a lot of flack for being knockoff, but I think it holds its own at this point.
See, yeah. And then Mython says, of course, AI Chadbot has it. See, like, ask me to pull one thing off a shelf. I don't see how Lenard was really knockoff when they were doing their own thing anyway. Yeah, it's like parallel brand, but
yeah, I mean, some of their accessories, their backpacks are one-for-one rips of the 80s Joe stuff, but whatever. Those don't have those aren't copyrighted, so they're going to take the backpack. But
sure.
James says going for the Lenard All-Star Collection. Yeah.
Did you see Impossible Pie's question about Lenard still around?
Yeah, when you got up to some of the stores around me sold Lenard. Yeah, I think it's really prevalent overseas right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of their current stuff.
Yeah.
And then Mikey Knit says you need some Dolly Loompas so he doesn't have to get up to retrieve stuff himself.
Fair.
And then, kind of keeping with the emergency rescue stuff, is I got this 3-pack of paramedics.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I found a lot of this stuff actually on Facebook around my area. They just didn't know what they had either, so I was like, all right. So,
yeah, you're like, I'll take that off your hands, sucker.
When they rebranded some of the stuff to the Action Rescue.
Hold that a little closer. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And then arguably one of the coolest things I got, and probably one of the rarest, is just in this white box.
Is this white box?
So it was sealed. I opened it just to make sure it was what it said it was inside. So what Lenard did, I guess, is they sold a lot of stuff like through Sears and JCPenney catalogs. And when you ordered them, you just got these white boxes. Sometimes you'd be lucky if it had a decal on the front of it.
Right.
Most of the time you weren't, because they were going to have it as cheap as possible. So, but this one is, I was stoked to find this one. So this is get this one up here. This is the Lenard police car.
Awesome.
So
super cool.
It's called emergency police set. So it's got, you see the ferret mold again.
Yep.
Just, they would throw in these stop signs and traffic cones and just for why not.
It's good for playtime and for displaying.
Yeah. Always got a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And then, they packed this little boat thing in always too.
That's rad.
So, and then it came with just a couple of the police figures as well. So,
yeah, that's really cool.
yeah. So apparently the police car is one of the rarest Leonard items. It's just that and the Humvee, because that one had the lawsuit. So
yeah.
But yeah, I was stoked when I saw this. It's like, oh, well, just a Leonard white box. I know that's going to be good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So let's see. Brian King. Nope, separate company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, Leonard was almost more prevalent at the latter half of the 90s. So I almost had more of the Leonard stuff than I did actual vintage Joe stuff. But so for me, they were all the same. I was like, you know what? They're all O-rings. They all are basically the same for me. So Mython says when he was a kid, he didn't really even understand the core wasn't G.I. Joe. The figures were on the pegs at Toys R Us right next to Joe's. My mom bought them, and they got mixed in. Yeah, and you could get a 3-pack for the same as one Joe figure almost.
There you go.
Yeah, just, a couple people just saying, about the world building. Yeah, I think Leonard really did that well. Construction, police, fire.
Mm-hmm. Even when they just did their recent Aliens line, they're like, here's a power loader. Here's, like their Leonard version of the APC. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
James says Callie to the rescue.
She ain't rescuing anything right now. She's just lying there. She's
Robert
just eating dogs.
Those are awesome. Yep. Possible Pie says just need a Leonard General Lee.
Yep.
Mython says party at Mvargo's house. Hey,
yes.
when we get all this stuff open, maybe. Yeah. Kiwi says in New Zealand, if we didn't get the G.I. Joes like Torpedo, you got Leonard Shark, and then custom it a bit, and then you've got Torpedo.
That's right.
And then Aaron says he remembers getting an off-brand O-ring character, possibly Leonard or another. He looked just like Major Blood, so it filled him in my collection. Well, I got a few more things, but you got anything else you want to show first, Chad?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. Did you get this book?
I have not yet. It's on my radar.
Dude, this book's rad.
They were at Joe Fest last year, right?
Huh?
He was at Joe Fest last year, right? Or was it?
But this book was a Kickstarter that just ended. There's no Joe in volume 1, so I mean it's a good motivator to buy volume 2, right? And then I believe I opened this the other night. It's that Haya Ed 209. Man, I've just been playing with this thing like mad. It's so good. I thought it was supposed to have lights and sounds, but it doesn't do anything. Weird, because I had to take the little plastic tab out of his butthole there.
Could they be dead? Batteries be dead?
I don't know. I don't see anywhere to push. Oh, no. There he goes. Do you hear him?
Yep.
Put down your weapon. Yeah, so anyway, got him. He's fun. I guess one more thing I could show. Did you see that Jurassic World vehicle that I'm going to make a Vamp Mark III?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm working on that.
Some of that stuff Mattel's putting out for Jurassic Park has been really nice lately.
Just Jeff sent me this. It's a diorama.
So like it's like so like you just like it folds up and you.
Yeah, it just says it's a pop-up diorama. I've never. You know what? I'm gonna open it while we're chatting. So.
Kentucky Inbred says that he picked up Night Force Falcon and Crazy Legs, laid up my wallet plus Hood Cobra Commander, excellent condition.
Gotta buy Hooded Cobra Commander, right?
Thanks, Kiwi. I appreciate it. Alex S is here. Thanks for stopping in.
What's up, Alex? You don't have to leave me big. I'm just gonna tinker while we talk.
Well, while you tinker, I guess I'll show the last couple things I picked up.
Oh yeah, this is like a whole to do here. We'll play with that later.
So, and the other thing I kind of just picked up was just some more of the, some of the more military stuff that the Corps had put out. So, got this 3-pack here with Tracker Tom, Shooter Sam, and Bengala. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, just a couple of the multi-packs. Like, this one's got Large Sarge, Hammer, and Shark, which we were just talking about. How you can kind of make him into torpedo a little bit.
Yeah, so cool, man.
Got this one with Boomerang Billy, John Eagle, and Dragon Han.
Dragon Han. Will's here. We were just talking about you, Will.
Hey, Will. It's your specialty, 1/18 stuff. Toy cam. Yeah, I was kind of so stoked. I was like, you know what? I think I can set my phone up if I have StreamYard. So we'll figure mess around with some stuff. I did not. I used to have some of the Chrome ones. I haven't picked any up because I feel like the Chrome on those break really easily. So it's really hard to find some of the ones that are, don't have broken arms. So got this one here with not Indiana Jones, just in case, and Night Laser.
Yep. Not Indiana Jones.
Well, it's funny because his file card from the original version of 86 literally says he's a professor of archaeology who gets pulled into the Corps. So definitely not Indiana Jones.
No, not even close.
Then I picked up this really cool 9-pack. So it's 9 figures.
That's money.
Yeah. So these big, Team Delta here. Got another just in case. Because you can never have enough just in case.
Yeah, because just in case.
Yep. And then Fox, who was always one of my favorite sculpts, with the eye patch and
yeah. So that's a good sculpt.
Kentucky Brad says Desert Rat. Well, at least half of him crashing the toy cam. Yep, my signed Desert Rat's right in that case behind. So.
Yep.
Will says love those sets. Yep. Kiwis is bloody awesome. And then the last thing I've got is I picked up the Leonard attack helicopter, still in the box from 96. So
fantastic.
I feel like you don't see a lot of these boxes.
Mm-mm.
So
yeah, price tag $12.99. Oh.
Yeah, the not Dragonfly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
so that's
the freaking colors on that one are fantastic. Do it. Oh man.
What's up?
Oh, one of my stupid wires popped out. There it is.
I like this one's got a way better. So the thumb handles right here. Mm-hmm. So instead of the Dragonfly where it's on the side.
Yeah. Paint apps are great.
Yep. Yeah, they're just fun. I mean, that's part of the reason why I like the Corps as much as I do. It's
yeah. And their tanks.
Yeah.
Their tanks are fantastic.
Yeah, my tank it's in the display case right now, but yeah, the only thing you got to worry about with some of this stuff is, they were definitely made a little cheaper. So, as I say this, as I break off one of the gun tips straight out of the box.
Did you?
Yeah, this little side gun just popped right out.
Yeah. Anything's fixable.
Yeah.
Put
some glue on there.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
I got a couple Lennard tanks I can show. Watch your paws, baby. I'm moving. You want to come say hi? Come here, come say hi. Yeah, hi. Hello. Bigger baby. Come on. Say hi. Oh. Okay, down. Down. Watch your butt.
Sweet. Yeah, they're really fun. I'm glad I was able to pick some of these up.
I got some tanks. Show off some tanky tanks.
Did Lennard make anything close to the whale? So the only watercraft that Lennard put out was this guy.
Yeah.
So not really like the whale, but
yeah, I mean it's a Zodiac, but yeah, it's still fun.
Mython asked what part of the country. I am from Northeast Ohio.
Ohio.
Yep. He said, or Sky Striker. No, Lennard never actually had put out a jet in the vintage line. So I think they've put out some stuff since then. Kind of right now, my focus on them is 86 to 2002, kind of the O-ring stuff.
I got this bad boy.
Yeah, their tanks are awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, I customized it up, right? Like that's a Dragonfly piece and so on and so forth. And I painted it all up. I put some tchotchkes on the back of it. So I made that a Cobra tank. I made this fantastic tank into Iron Grenadier.
Nice.
So that's a fun tank. Yeah, I kind of made all mine like Joe centric. Yeah, and then the last one's up there, but I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, Lennard put out some. I like it for what it is, but I think their stuff it can be really customizable. I think as well.
Yeah,
which I think is what and for a while there it was so cheap, it was easy to buy and customize. Unfortunately, I think some of the stuff's starting to go up in value. I think it's plastic is a little bit lower quality. Yeah. Obviously, that one's gun broke right out of the box for me.
Even like finding these bodies just to make something, they're not as cheap as they used to be. You used to be able to get them like $15, like maybe missing the main gun or a couple of the hatches or whatever, but not anymore. Yeah,
well, I think that's what I brought up earlier. You could find these everywhere for so cheap. I mean, they were all over the place, and now for whatever reason, it just seems like they've kind of dried up. So,
agreed.
James says that's Killer Chad.
Thank you. I am to please.
Mython brought up that Chat made a whale-like craft.
The really good one is the True Hero Sentinel 1, which was the brand that Toys R Us sold exclusively, and that's like a straight up LCAC. and I've got 2 of them. I've shown them before. But yeah, that freaking True Hero Sentinel 1 LCAC is phenomenal. I like it as much as the whale, I will say.
Kiwi says he needs us on his show. Yeah, they just
say the word.
Yeah, my Instagram is in the YouTube description, and I think it's on my channel as well. I don't know.
Yeah. Mikey Vargo Hot Pants 69.
Yeah,
that's
that one, or there's Varjo's or
Varjo's.
Mvargo97.
Yeah, Varjo's.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was clever at one point.
Yep. Toxic Varjo's.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
And then Jeff asks if you've ever done a video showing how you repaint your tanks. Like, do you use primer then paint, or a top coat? What do you?
There's a video on my YouTube channel of how I took one of the Walmart exclusive Hiss 3s that were out just a couple of years ago, and I made it an Alley Viper Hiss tank. That one I didn't primer because the Alley Viper is that like orange and blue.
Yep.
So I left the blue, and I just put like Alley Viper, that angular camouflage, just painter's tape, and then I painted it orange, and then I just peeled the tape off. So, yeah, most of them I will primer for sure.
Then Robert also says everyone here needs to be on my show.
I've been on your show, have I not? I sent an invite.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully once we get out of April, for me, I'll be more available to do stuff. So,
I'm always available now. So, how it be.
And then, Will says he bought the heck out of Leonard stuff in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was that, or you went to Toys R Us to get the Toys R Us exclusive Joe stuff at the end of the 90s. That was basically your options.
Leonard and Chapman. Sorry. I didn't get much sleep last night. Leonard and Chapman are still killing it with the world building. Killing it.
And a couple other things that I picked up, but I just didn't want to take out the cases. So I finished I have all version 1 figures that the Corps put out. So they only did like 36 figures total.
Yeah. For
their whole O-ring line. However, there's like 5 repaints of each of those characters. So they went the route of, hey, we're just going to make a few figures and repaint the crap out of them. So
that's weird because nobody else is doing that.
Yeah. So I finished that. So I've got all the V1 versions of those.
My whole desk is toys now. Just covered in toys.
Mike says you wouldn't want me on your show, Robert. I'd make viewership going in the negatives.
Dude, don't listen to him. I invited him on when Not Top Goon was on.
Speaking of viewership, it looks like I've got 27 people. That's surprising. I was like, if I get maybe 5, I'll be happy.
5? Come on, dude.
Then Mikey says it was a real treat to get to go to the actual Leonard store that was here in KC. It only opened a few weeks around Christmas. They just had their last warehouse sale last year, right?
Yeah. I'm pulling it down. You can see I started removing the figures. The thing that sucks about that is you could have sold that stuff online at the same time, because I know they want to make it a whole event thing, but come on, not everybody's going to fucking, pardon me, not everybody's going to trek it to the Leonard warehouse sale.
Yep.
All right, you ready? There it is, baby. And yeah, that thing, right? And there's a Leonard vehicle right there, and then there's your Chatmade Kids Connection freaking howitzer. I just unscrewed it from the little rolling trailer base. Fits perfect. This thing is so awesome. Yeah, there it be.
James says that Mython definitely needs to do some videos on his collection. I would be down to see that.
Yep, me too.
Then Dragon Reborn brings up that Remco had a line in the '80s too. United States Force. I think it had like 6 different names. I think it was American Defense, U.S. Defense. It was Remco would put out. Remco liked to rename their stuff very easily.
Yeah.
Mython says that's dope, and then James says badass. Robert says it's credible custom. Yeah, I mean they're really they're
Super
great
easy to do.
Yep.
Should have made a video on that. That's what I should have done.
Yeah, I mean
I didn't know people wanted to see videos of my customs until I did that freaking Missile Command headquarters, and that obviously went like viral or something. It exploded. But I had done other custom videos before, and they just kind of.
It's weird what takes off and what doesn't.
Yeah, I don't really care. But
Kentucky Inbred says he's doing a custom GI Joe APC, part GI Joe and part Z Force, trying to find gun turret. Neither of the ones that came with them. More 3D. Any ideas?
Since I'm AI bot and blah blah blah. Hold on.
I think I've seen one. I've seen a few online that are like coming almost like Sam turrets on the top. I don't know.
This is a turret that I found. I want to say Etsy, and it's part 3D printed, part metal. It was actually like they poured it in sand, old school. And I got this shell of a APC, and I just painted the tarp doo-doo brown, and yeah, there's that turret. And this part is resin, this part is cast metal, this part is 3D printed, and it just kind of goes inside of it. But all of this right here is metal. And yeah, I mean, there you go.
Leonard put out an APC too.
Yep. And then they put a little GI Joe chingadera in there.
Yep.
They came painted. I just did the weathering to it, but yeah, there it is. I just thought it was fun, different play on the APC.
Mikey says he taught you everything you know.
In a way, yeah, that is true. Mikey and Matt LaCroix, I became friends with the two of them because I would always pick their brains, like, how do you this, how do you that, tips, tricks, weathering, stuff like that. But those guys are figure guys.
Yep.
Right. And I can do some figure stuff. Like I got a few skills when it comes to figures, but eyes, I make them look like sloth, even with the little toothpick trick. But yeah, vehicles just became my wheelhouse.
Jeff says that he got a 1/18 scale Jeep from Tractor Supply. He's going to repaint Cobra Blue. He's just getting ideas of what to do. So it'll be his first attempt.
Just have fun with it.
Possible Pie likes that turret on the APC.
It's a fun turret, right? I mean, I'd never seen anything like it before, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. And then even what the hell is their name? Gridiron Studios, before they started making like ridiculously overpriced 1/12 scale everything, and
$15 3D guns.
They used to make rad stuff in 1/18 scale. They made those Sponson missile pods for his tanks, and they made that dual caliber 50 gun ring, which I have on my DTC hiss right here. Yeah, I mean they used to make some really freaking awesome stuff.
Yep.
But again, right, they're chasing that 1/12 like a fucking fever dream. I don't know. I don't get it.
James says Matt's amazing, awesome dude. Yeah, I mean, look at these custom paint jobs on these limited edition figures.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, Mikey and I call him Santa Matt, for a reason, not just because sometimes he looks like a homeless Santa Claus, but yeah.
Mikey says just gave you some tips, but most of it's all you.
Yeah, but still, And I'm paying that forward.
Mython says he wants to low key sneak into your garage and steal your custom Mega Destroyer.
It's sitting right there.
He'd probably get caught by the ma'am, and she'd feed me to the laser sharks.
She wouldn't even need to feed you the laser shark. She'd just be like, shh, and that'd be it. Yeah.
Cutthroat Comics is here.
Pickups, huh? Yeah.
A little late.
The Mega Destroyer it's cool, but I'm kind of more into the Delta Mark IV, actually. So cool.
Yeah.
It's just great, man. The gray with the red, white, and blue, it just pops. And
it looks like it looks like the cockpit's got more like room than the Dragonfly does. You could definitely get some of the bigger ones that couldn't fit into the Dragonfly in here.
Dig it. Cutthroat says, I'm always late.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Just remember, punch and pie. Like, that's rule number 2 of Fellowship of the Dollies. If you're late, you owe punch and pie.
What else? There's a couple things I got in the case that I can pull out.
Pull it out, big boy. Let's see it. Anyway, now that he's gone, I got nothing.
I got this carded 86.
Oh man,
Boomerang Billy when they were still on the Gung Ho, when they were still called Gung Ho.
Yeah, Gung Ho's. That's so good.
Before Hasbro said, "Yeah, you can't do that."
Yeah, you're not allowed. Yeah.
But I like these early ones. They still had like kind of bios on them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
pick this guy up. You don't see a lot of the early ones still sealed. So
yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I dig it.
So speaking of card backs, I found that somebody was just selling.
Oh, no way.
Sold some of the 1990 card backs. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to pick these up.
Those are cool, man.
So they sit on the back of the cases.
It's funny how Joe went taller and everybody else kind of went wider.
Yep.
In the 90s.
And then the only other thing I really picked up was we got the troop transport with the roll down cloth back.
Yeah, the soft side, also known as a fruit roll up. Yeah, that's rad.
That's about it. A couple other figures here and there, but
Kiwi's got a question while I grab something else.
How would you? Yeah, that would be great. Just hit me up. Well, we can try to work something out.
So, speaking of that, Kids Connection, Chapmay howitzer, right? You've seen what the G.I. Joe Avalanche looks like, the white vehicle with the little pew pew, the disc shooter. That's what I did to mine. I took the plane out of it and I made it like a little spot for one of the Z-Force guys to just cruise in it. I put this little piece in there, and this was one of the little packaging braces from a box, that the little screws screw into, and it fit down in there perfectly. And then I put a little Chapman missile launcher on there, and I just made myself some crazy Z-Force tank, mobile howitzer dude.
Mython says he loves all those details. I did it too when I was displaying 1/12 scale figures, but they're much less convenient for vehicles.
Cheapo bookcases. Yep.
Mython says he wishes his room was that big. His flag ended up being on the dining room table when he opened it.
How's that custom base coming along, Mython? I want to know about that.
And then Cutthroat says he's never seen card backs like that. I mean, honestly, because I mentioned earlier, it's more likely that you find them in multi-packs than you do single carded. Mm-hmm. And the multi-packs don't have, like bios on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, we've got not Indiana Jones here.
There he is.
Literally named Jones.
Throwing a knife.
Service history, professor of archaeology and paleontology.
Weird.
So,
yeah.
Possible Pie asks if I'm going to complete the line. Probably at this point, I'm fairly close. I have at least one of every vehicle. There's a lot of variants, like I said. So they only put out 36 figures, but there's about 5 to 6 versions of each character.
Yeah,
that you got to get. So,
yep,
it is what it is. And the vehicle, same with the vehicles. I mean, that tank has probably been repurposed to. They're still using that tank mold.
Mm-hmm.
So. Kentucky and Red's loving the show. I appreciate you watching.
What?
Oh, he says he's loving the show. I appreciate him watching.
Hell yeah.
And then Mython says it's supposed to be ready soon. He's not making it. He commissioned it.
That's right.
From Chris in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So
I forgot about that. That is correct. Yeah. Which G.I. Joe figure has the most versions?
I think that's probably got to be Snake Eyes.
Yep.
I mean, if you're talking from 82 to now, vintage wise, I don't know, probably Duke or Snake Eyes probably had the most from 82 to 94.
It's still Snake Eyes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because 1, 2, 3.
Did I do a video on that Avalanche custom? Nope.
Yeah, because there were
I had a YouTube channel.
Yeah, there were 6 Snake Eyes in the vintage.
Oh, there's tons of Snake Eyes, man. It was
like from 82 to 94. So I think there were 6 of them.
Yeah, but I mean, just think about the dark years alone. And then even the modern runs, like when you get down to all the weird variants, like where the frick is it? This one? The fucking Transformers one?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So there's tons.
My thought says G.I. Joe Jesus.
G.I. Jesus, that's right. Yeah. He is the MacGuffin of all MacGuffins.
Well, so, while we're kind of still talking about the core, I kind of wanted to show a little sneak peek of what I've been working on in the background. I just kind of have thumbnails right now. Scripts are done. But just kind of what's going to be coming to my channel in the next probably 2 months will probably be trying to get. So I will share that. So kind of what I'm planning on doing is kind of doing a 4-part, the core roster, kind of going over each of the, so there was basically 4 main waves of figures released.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to break it into 4 videos and just kind of go over each figure that was released, kind of go over their file cards and stuff. So
that's cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, just as those.
That guy in the middle is ready to go party.
Yep. Yeah, they had some funny figures, but my kind of idea for it is kind of like retro blasting. He did that original 13 Joe video.
Yep.
It's kind of to have something like that for
with the typewriter and the explosion sounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony
because I feel like, for me, when I go search on YouTube for stuff, there's not a whole lot of stuff about the vintage era of the core. There's really not a whole lot of stuff out there to begin with. I feel like, G.I. Joe has been I don't want to, not trying to sound negative, but G.I. Joe's been archived to death. I mean, Leonard, on the other hand, has such a, it's been around since 86, and there's not great resources out there.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't know how the videos will do. I don't really care. I just want them to be something out there that somebody can go and look. I was like, I had this Leonard figure. I don't know his name. I don't know anything about him, but I can go look at this video and say, oh, this character's name was Dragon Han.
And that's why you should do videos anyway. Do videos about the stuff that you care about. I mean, like all these freaking like engagement farming vultures and casualty vampires, who like jump on topics and then they just kind of shift left and right. I hate that crap, man. I like to see people who have like they kind of stay in. I don't want to say in their lane, but they stay involved in things that get them involved, and
Thanks for
that's
stopping
what
by,
I like to
Apostle Pie.
see. Bye, bye, love you, bye. Mython's got a question for you.
Do I have any of the 1/18th click and play? I don't anymore. I used to when I had all that 1/18th scale stuff. Like I said, some of the stuff I was planning on keeping, but they just kind of took it. So because they were like at my grandparents' house for like 8 hours, and I was like, all right, just let my grandparents know when you're leaving.
Yeah.
Well, because they're bagging each individual figure. I'm like, whatever. I don't have to do it, but
Yeah.
I'm not staying around for any longer.
That frickin' click and play F-18 Super Hornet is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. You just pull it out of the box, put all the armaments on it. It's done. The wings fold up. It's got great paint apps and tampos. It's got washes on it. It looks like it's been used, and it's fun. I keep looking up because it's like right over there above me. But
Yep.
such a great thing.
Cutthroat likes the background. So what I kind of tried to do was kind of match what the card art would have been for that year.
Yeah.
For that wave of figures. So to kind of just have, kind of a matching motif for the video. And so
Ben
I've been
Morris
thinking
is
about
hanging out till his wife's done getting her nails done. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
I-
Well, we appreciate you stopping by.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then possible
Oh
spices.
yeah. And then Mike
probably
says
four
the
would be cool.
Sukhoi 27. Yeah.
Aaron says you have a passion for it, bringing that info to everyone, be an awesome resource now. Yeah, and that's like what my goal is so for me, being somebody that's interested in it, when I go to search for something, there's not a whole lot of stuff out there that I can look and view as a resource. So if I can put something out there that helps somebody else in the future,
Yeah.
And eventually I would like to do the same with the vehicles. I've got to track down a lot more variants of the vehicles that are rarer, but so
That's why like a couple of the unboxings that I've done, like I did the 91 Battle Core Cobra detonator, because most people who have detonators, that whole bellows tube is broken, and so it won't fire. And so I was like, well, I'm going to show you how to build it, from nothing. And then the same with the Blockbuster, because 94 was the last large vehicle of a real American hero, and most examples you find aren't complete. But generally, I'm not going to do like and this isn't a dig on the channel, right? But I'm not a Hooded Cobra Commander 788. Yeah. I'm not going to just be like, well, today we're going to review and then just put the vehicle, you know what I mean?
That's
not me.
The way I feel.
Yeah.
Like I could talk about this figure for maybe a minute and say what I want to say about it. That if I'm going to do something, I'm going to try to make it more of an encompassing. Yeah. Like what I did with Strike Force Alpha, I had, 5 or 6 figures and talked about the line as a whole rather than the individual figures.
Yeah, exactly.
And ideally I would like to start, when I kind of done with moving forward from the core stuff, I would kind of like to get into kind of the sub teams of the 90s and kind of do videos about DEF, Mega Marines, just kind of as a whole sub series as a whole. So
Jeff said dinner is finally in the oven. Unfortunately, I insulted an Italian, and the Italian kitchen karma caught up, and I burned the hell out of 3 fingers via a hot pan. Damn you, Chad. Look, man, it'll get you. Yeah.
And like Robert says, look how many Vamp videos just went out this week. It gets all that's what, like with my channels, I don't put a whole lot of stuff out, but it's I put something out when I feel like I have something unique and it's gonna be a little different. When a Valverse series comes in, I'm not going to take all 8 figures and talk about them separate. I'm going to talk about this is series 4. This is what you get. This is what I liked about it.
I like to make stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, hey, do you want a cool Iron Grenadiers tank on the cheap? Here you go, baby. Chris asked a question above just Jeff, something about, do you have a Cobra Hiss that Hasbro put out in a tall box? And this Hiss has working lights on it. I mean, I have every every version of the his tank except for the classified one. Oh, is my toy in your way? Come here, baby. Tall box his tank.
He says it was a 2014 Cobra Hiss running tank press deluxe mega kit. So maybe it's a model kit.
Maybe.
Then my wife says she just hears cha-ching when I talk about what I want to do in the future.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, that's art. I don't know.
What Jeff says is Chad, Mike, retro blasting and analog toys. It's entertaining and you learn shit, so I'm all about it.
Agreed. I'm still thinking about that his tank thing.
Well, that's what James says. Is he's making you reach deep into your magical toy box.
Well, because in that time frame, the his tanks that were being put out were the ones that you saw around Retaliation.
Yep.
Those don't have lights. So unless I'm just not seeing it, yeah, I don't know.
And Robert says that's what he's been doing. Snagged a fig, wanted it for X reasons, and didn't meet expectations. Yeah, like, and you know, your videos, you don't talk about, not trying to drag on anyone that does it, but I don't really need to watch a 20-minute video on a single figure to get, you know, to get the point of what I need to know about it.
No. Mm-mm. No. I think a lot of that stuff is not only is it subjective, but it's like,
yeah.
Is there any kind of like qualitative or quantitative, more so quantitative value in putting my efforts into this sort of a thing? Like, nobody wants to see what I think about the G.I. Joe RPV. I'm not going to do a video on that, you know?
Then my wife brings up how I have a whole plan for the basement now without with moving around the expensive glass shelves and yeah.
Home Depot, they deliver. Just saying.
I gotta get a fence up in the backyard first before I do anything else down here.
Are you doing it yourself?
I might end up doing it myself.
It's not hard, man. If I lived in Ohio, I'd come help you. We'd plumb line it. Have a good old time.
Mython says, just don't take a skinny friend to a mom and pop Italian restaurant. They won't make it. Cook be like, what's the matter with you? Don't like it? He's dead. Pass it over here.
Leave the gun. Get the cannoli. Yeah.
Cutthroat says he saw it on eBay for Cobra Hiss tank. So
I call shenanigans.
So
proud owner of 56 Hiss tanks, I call shenanigans. Do what?
So what do you have coming up? I kind of talked about what I'm working on in the background here.
I don't know. Tomorrow, Mikey Scuba and I are going to talk part 2 of rare and weird Joe items from around the world. I can't really say like I'm gonna do this until I do it.
Yeah,
you know, it's very organic. I know I need to do an opening on the Sergeant Savage Grizzly because I want it open.
Yeah,
I need to do. There's a lot of custom videos I need to do. I got a custom 3D printed mast for my flag, even though I have the original mast complete. But this updated one that I got a Joe Fest last year. We were talking about it, the one with like the crow's nest and all that stuff.
Look who snuck in here.
Oh, what's up, Ryan? No, he loves you. He loves you. Ryan loves you. Dude, Ryan's such a rad dude.
Yeah.
He really freaking is. Like, busy as hell, family man. Like he still supports people. Ryan's a freaking rad dude. And for as
He
much
was
as
the
people love to give him shit, like you want to talk about a dude who hates drama, Ryan fucking hates drama.
so funny story with Laser Pants is literally both years that I went to Joe Fest, he was the first person that I ran into. Just like the first year, he was just in the elevator. He got in the elevator with me and my wife. And then last year, he was checking in the same time I was checking in.
So the first year, were you like, "That's Ryan from 3P"?
Well, so he was with Sal from Two Cents Toys and my wife.
Mm.
I was like,
Yeah.
I think that's Ryan and Sal from Two Cents Toys.
He did misspeak about the first time that he met me when he had Sal on, like last week. But yeah, that was also the first time I met Ryan because I knew Sal, and I walked up to the table, and I was standing there with that freaking timber that I had for Tony, but I was like picking items up too to purchase, and then Sal turns around and he's like, "Oh hey, what's up, Chad?" And I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And then Ryan looked at me and I was like, "What's up, Ryan?" And I just went about my business. No, I didn't.
Neil from Yesterland Toys is here.
Oh man, yeah, it's good to see him.
How you doing, Neil?
I'm glad he's doing better.
Yeah. So funny story was last weekend. I was testing out some stuff on StreamYard, and I literally made the stream public for like 10 seconds just so I could hop in on my TV to look in, and Neil just pops into the chat.
He's like,
he's like, "What's going on here?" I'm like, "Neil, I'm not doing anything. I'm just setting up the toy cam and stuff."
"Are we doing a thing? Let's do a thing." Yeah.
Mython
Super
says,
cool.
Laser Pants is amazing because he's his twin.
Ryan's got hair. I mean, from a bald guy, you know what I mean? I'm not follically shaming, but Ryan has fantastic hair.
Yeah, my wife was in the elevator, said, "Isn't that Laser Pants?" And then they gave me a 3POA sticker. And I think I dropped one down the elevator shaft. So there may be a 3POA sticker forever at the Augusta Marriott.
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. That's like when you go on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and you lose your hat and you're like, forever will that hat be somewhere lost inside Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Nothing wrong with that. Yep. I gotta. Oh, there's so much crap on my desk, man. I wish I could move my camera and show you. But I gotta. Yeah, I think that's the first sticker that Ryan ever gave me right there. Right there.
Yeah, I think mine are all up on the top of that DTOF right now. I just haven't put them on anything.
Oh yeah, I freaking slap stickers on everything, man. Got to be old school about it. But, yep. Yesterland said, just been watching a ton of YouTube. Y'all's channel should get some great viewer increases.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
When I tore up my knee in college, I was like in a brace for on gun crushes for like 3 months, and it's like all I did was just sit in my dorm room and watch YouTube.
The weird thing is, I never messed a joint up. I never had like a bum shoulder or like what I like to lovingly refer to as bitch elbow. I never had any of that stuff. Never messed up my knees. And then when I got all that nerve damage, I didn't even know I had nerve damage. And I went to a podiatrist. Well, I went to my PCM, and he sent me to a podiatrist, and I explained the sensations and symptoms and whatever to the podiatrist. He's like, "Nah, man, that's nerve damage." I was like, "I don't have nerve damage." He's like, "Yeah, pretty sure you do." And then he sent me back to my PCM, and he's like, "Well, let's do an MRI." And then they were like, "Yeah, so you got a bunch of crushed nerves." Okay, cool, thanks.
My wife's throwing shade at me. Says, "I remember everything, the whole convo. That was 7 years ago. But God forbid I bring a lunch to work."
See, that's a loving spouse. That's what a loving spouse would say. My wife says the same stuff, man. Same stuff.
Yeah, I never heard any bones, but ligaments. My got strong bones. It's just anything beyond the bones.
Oh no, man! I broke 3 ribs in 5 places, like under here and then right here, and I still have like this weird concave, like floaty piece, and I crushed this wrist and broke this finger. Yeah, I've broken tons of stuff, but yeah.
Yesterland's on Toy Federation videos right now. Mr. Matt LaCroix makes an appearance on their video today.
Really?
From around Christmas time, because that's about how they're about 4 months behind when they record something.
Toy Federation.
They're the guys that own that shop. They had the booth right across from Valaverse at Joe Fest.
I don't know.
They own a toy store.
Well, as long as it's not people from a certain toy store with YouTube channels. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. People just talking about their injuries, their sports-related injuries.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Mython tells we still had to watch 3POA to see the most luxurious, beautiful head of hair in Toy Bird history. Drew wasn't on it.
I'll take Ryan's hair over Drew's.
I know. I just like to give Drew. We like to give Drew crap about it because Drew always runs his. And then Laserpan says you broke his heart, and Mython doesn't know how you could do that to him.
I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know. Oh, I am going to start working. Yeah, you asked me what I had coming up, right? And I was like, man, I don't know. I do have a couple of like stokes in the fire. Remember how I told you how I was taking screenshots of all like the a-hole stupid people? You know, the ones who are like the false positivity police and the ones that are like, oh, why do you even collect? You shouldn't even be here. I've been amassing screenshots, and I was like, I think I'm going to start doing like a video series about these people. And I was going to call it, what was I going to call it? I don't know. I think I told Ryan what I was going to call it. I know I told Bobby what I was going to call it. Yeah.
Drew has
from the Peanut Gallery. That's what I was going to call it. Yeah. And it was going to be all Statler and Waldorf from Muppet Show.
Yeah. My wife says do a live stream while drinking and reading screenshots and accents.
Could do that. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Toy Federation has some great stuff, and yeah, I'll check them out.
Open up Saw Blade.
Well, that's right where my camera is, so I have to like. Wah, wah, wah. That dude is buff. He's ready to go. James Lucas says car rant. I don't have anything to car rant about.
I like his shorts.
Move him over a little. Other way. Oh yeah, baby. There you go. Work boots and jorts.
Can't go while you're cutting trees.
Yeah. Wear some jorts. Get all those splinters in your legs. I do need to do a video on this train that I got.
Oh yeah, the 3D printed one.
Yeah, the unproduced 1991 Battle Corps train. The thing is, one, I don't have track because I'm not displaying it on a choo-choo train track.
Does it fit on normal like model train track?
Yep. Which I could go get it. But I have it displayed on a shelf, this shelf right next to me. This train, when laid out, is as long as my flag. So when I did film it that one time, I had to lay it all out on the floor and put a sheet behind it and just kind of pan. It's a bitch. So I don't even know how I'm going to film it. I might just do it one car at a time. So
Robert says dumbasses in cyberspace.
Is that like pigs in space? Shills in space. I could change the theme of it with everyone because they give you free content with their dumbassery. And I could change it. It could be like, yeah, from the Peanut Gallery, and it's, Statler and Waldorf, and then do like a Shills in Space one. Why not?
I think this comment's directed towards you, Chad.
No. Absolutely not. Get that out of my face.
Cutthroat says that train is the bomb.
The train is rad. Yeah, it's freaking huge. That's what she said.
The Kentucky Inbred asks on your retirement if your unit do anything for your retirement. He caught your unboxing video.
No, nothing.
See, that's a shame. I mean, how long were you with that unit?
The specific unit or the battalion?
Well, I guess who would have, if anybody would have thrown you something, who would have done it?
Either or.
Okay.
The battalion's more responsible for the awards. Yeah, any kind of retirement ceremony would probably be a unit level. She never barks. Did you hear that?
I did.
Come here.
Ryan wants to tell us more about your unit.
I didn't bring it up anyway, but since you're asking, yeah, like a retirement ceremony would be a unit level function, just like a promotion ceremony would. But any kind of awards, when you're talking retirement, that would be battalion level or higher. That's a higher headquarters kind of a function. So, yeah,
it's still unfortunate.
It is what it is.
But that's why Python the Python is awesome.
Yep. Yeah, my wife and I are horrible at keeping secrets from one another. We like to say, "Hey, I got you something. You want to know what it is?" But at the same time, she was like, "Oh, I was trying to plan something for your retirement." But
yeah. Mikey says you better go check it out. Russian paratroopers may be dropping in if the dog's barking.
You know, ironically, that was filmed in New Mexico. The original Red Dawn. It was filmed in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Not too far from here.
Wolverines.
Wolverines, hell yeah. I mean, if it is, that's fine. Whatever. I got, so I'm good.
See, now the problem is whenever I think of Red Dawn, I just think of Scott Hughes because his profile picture.
That's such a great picture too. That whole scene is so good. That's where they just smoke that convoy and he just stands up. Boom. Yeah, it's good. I am not awesome. Yeah, man, you are. It's cool. Just own it.
Do you only acknowledge the Josh Peck one?
What? Yeah, the original Red Dawn. I mean, they rebooted it. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
Let the boogaloo begin. That's right, man. Moon's out, goons out. I got my body armor right over there. Good to go. Yeah. I was sobbing like a baby. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I didn't tell her anything. I was like, "Hey, did you watch? Chad got an awesome gift today. You want to watch it?"
It's rough, right? It's rough. It's rough. I'm sure a lot of people who like see the thumbnail, they're like, "I don't want to watch some stupid unboxing video." It's like, you're lost. Yeah, there is only one, but whatever. The remake had that kid from Josh and Drake or Drake and Josh or whatever.
I don't want to know what Prussian paratroopers would look like.
They'd probably just hit the ground. I mean, they didn't have parachutes back then, did they? Oh, yeah, man, the sways. That's too bad he died. He should have, you know what? They should have combined Dalton with Red Dawn, and then when he's fighting them, he's like, "Bow!" just pulling out throats. Would have been cool. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We're hitting to about 2 hours. So
nice.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on stream with me.
Of course, man. Thanks for the invite.
First stream, yeah. Well, I figured if I've got all this 1/18 scale stuff, so I'm obviously gonna invite Chad on.
Oh yeah, is that how that is?
Yeah.
That's how Tony described me too. He's like, "Well, you're like the 118 guy," and I'm like, You have as much 118 scale stuff as I do." But is 3POA on tonight?
I don't think so.
I'm looking right. Meow meow. Oh, dude, Mvargo's live right now. Did you know that?
Maybe I'll catch it later.
We should go watch that. I'm looking.
Mython says that President Mikey's going to help him with another appreciation gift. He's so talented.
For who? For what? Not for me.
Then Neil says he remembers seeing Red Dawn, thinking it was going to happen at any second.
Dude, we used to play Red Dawn out by like the creeks and the ditches and stuff, man. I love that stuff as kids, man. Yeah, I don't see anything coming up for the old 3 points of articulation tonight. Did Ryan leave?
Keep Leonard Love alive. I'm going to try to. So,
yeah, for sure.
I think maybe whenever Delta 17 finally is able to be purchased, I'll probably do something about them too.
Me and the O-ring stuff, man. I don't want to say it's a love-hate thing, but I like to support independent creators with, new and fresh characters and lore and backstories and things like that. But at the same time, I'm a little selective because O-ring figures aren't my thing. Like, I have some. I have a good deal of them because, pilots, drivers, etc. But generally, I just Strike Force Alpha is one thing. Call Sign Longbow is another, right? Because you're talking like Matt, Mikey's dad, Troy. Mikey did a lot of that work too. Like, people I love and respect and like, and of course, I'm going to buy that stuff. And yeah, I know like Ken put a lot of work into Delta 17. Obviously, there's the Operation Recall stuff, which is like the true spiritual successor to a real American hero because you've got Rudat and Merkline and all those guys and Kirk Bazigian. But
Chris asks how long those cases. I think they're about 4 feet long. Maybe a little bit longer.
Long? Like wide?
I don't know.
Well, you have height, width, depth. So I don't know what long is. Is that your wife?
Yeah, I don't know what she's probably yelling at the dog.
No, I thought she was coming down to translate, right?
No. Then Mython says it's for another amazing person.
Good. Yep. That sucks.
Oh, she was correcting me. They're 3 foot length.
What's length? Are we talking width?
Width, I believe width.
Give me Forrest Whitaker eye, man. And be like, oh
James
shit,
Lucas,
Goonies here. Any
James
more
Lucas
updates?
Asks on Delta 17. I think they just got approved through testing, so I think they're going to go up within the next month.
What are you talking?
So they had to like go back and retest them to make sure they didn't have like lead or something in them.
Really?
Yeah.
Last update I saw from them, I saw a bunch of packages that were shipping.
Yeah, well, so they had all the boxes, and then there was something with, I don't know, I think because they're in Canada, I think that they did some like additional, make sure you're not poisoning the children type things.
Oh, they did lead testing?
Probably, I don't know. There was something on their Instagram.
That's all right, man. We all grew up with
here.
Hot Wheels cars with lead paint. We're all fine.
Yeah. Top Goons here. Always at the end. I feel like he likes to pop in right at the end.
You know what's funny? I'm going to say it. I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to say it. So, come here, you. Sorry, I got distracted. I was looking at a YouTube channel that is only a weekly live stream channel, G.I. Joe related. And they had, man, look at that. They had the former president of Hasbro Boys Toys on their show just recently. They have like half the views of me and a barely adult dude in a freaking ski mask.
Then Mikey says that's accurate. They could market for sale for a younger audience.
What?
Delta 17.
Do you?
So.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. Mython says he's really anticipating those. I think they'll, from what I've seen, they look like they're solid O-ring figures. So
yeah, I mean they're definitely cool. You know, they kind of fit in that set. Yeah. What's on Joe mind? That's who I'm talking about. Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, man, I got twice the views of, you know, with the dude in a ski mask. We're just sitting there talking shit. It's so much fun. But it's not a comparison, it was an observation. That's all. It's an observation.
You scared the shit out of him before your collab?
How so? I don't know.
Just like in general, as a person, you were scared of you?
I don't know. I have no idea what he's talking about.
He says he's gonna have to get you back.
Oh, because when I got into the StreamYard backstage, yeah, it is because of my unit. I know. When I got into the StreamYard backstage, he's already in there with his camera on and shit, and he's like doing this, like, and I'm just waiting. I'm just watching him, and he's like not even tracking that I'm there, and I'm just looking at him, and I went, ugh! And he turned around, and he was like, ah, ah, freaked out. Yeah, I did. Got you, boy. Got that ass. That's life. That's what you get.
Yeah, well, like it's.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna wrap it up.
If you get in to the backstage and somebody's not there, just turn your camera off and wait.
I think we're probably gonna wrap it up. It's been about 2 hours.
Let's do it.
I actually have a day off tomorrow, so I'm gonna try to chillax and open all of this crap that we just went over.
Very cool. I'm gonna hang out with Mikey and Scuba.
Yep. Hey, I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me.
Yep. Goon says you made his heart race.
Sorry. Yep.
Goon says happy he's made it. Mython brings up lab results in on the 6th. So we pass those off to our broker. She gets all the paperwork lined up, and we get a rough idea of when we can schedule the truck to pick up our stuff. Just a couple people saying thanks. Yep, I appreciate everybody who came in, stopped by, anybody that might watch in the future. So, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be live streaming regularly. Probably not. Maybe just when something comes up that I just want to do or haven't done anything in 2 months. So.
Still fun to do.
Yep. So,
and you and I haven't hung out in a minute, so it was nice.
Yep. Mython said that's from Delta 17. So
yeah,
that's what they posted.
Okay. No, yeah.
Mikey says we'll see you in less than 24 hours.
Hell yeah, buddy.
So yeah,
24 hours, 23 hours and 56 minutes actually. That one's for me. Fuck out of here.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next time. Bye.
Bye.